Breaking news in the world of Formula One, Williams have announced a brand new technical partnership with Mercedes Formula One team that will come into play in 2022 next season. The instant ramifications of this deal will mean that Williams receive gearboxes, hydraulics, a whole host of other components directly from Mercedes themselves, meaning Williams will no longer make them in-house at their base in Grove. A huge statement, a huge day in the history of Williams Formula One team. A once great team trying to find its way back to the front, and hopefully for them, the decision today is one step closer to making that dream a reality. However, just before we start exploring any of the effects this deal is going to have on both Williams and the Mercedes Formula One team, let's take a quick look at the statement released by Mercedes Formula One team. We are pleased to confirm that we have expanded our technical collaboration with Williams Racing to include the supply of certain transferable components from 2022. Mercedes-Benz power units have powered Williams Racing since the hybrid era began in 2014, and from 2022 the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team will also provide gearboxes and related hydraulic components to Williams. Historically, Williams has built its own gearboxes and hydraulics in-house. However, the increased partnership between Williams and Mercedes will enable the team to implement a more efficient design and manufacturing process in-house, and in the long term allowing the team to focus its resources more efficiently with other performance areas. Williams will continue to design and manufacture other chassis parts internally in-house at their base in Grove. Many question marks with this deal will come into play over the legitimacy of Williams' Formula One team, and just like Haas, will Williams now be viewed as an unofficial Mercedes B team? And for many, this will be the case. It is a very, very similar situation, a very similar partnership Williams now have with Mercedes that Ferrari have with Haas, which historically was something Claire Williams and Sir Frank Williams were so against doing. Over their dead bodies, they always said in press conferences. However, after the takeover from Dorilton Capital in the summer of 2020, they have decided to take a different route. They believe partnering with Mercedes, solidifying this deal, is the way forward. And you can understand why. With all of the question marks with the COVID-19 pandemic continuing through into the 2020 season, still question marks on how successful Formula One is going to be, not only with COVID-19, but also the massive regulation change in 2022. What kind of effect is that going to have on each individual team? And for an independent team like Williams, strengthening with a big manufacturer like Mercedes isn't a terrible idea. And though the team would have loved to build all of their own components, move that team back to the front and become a winning team again, in reality, they don't really have the funds to be able to do that. The infrastructure at the moment is nowhere near the level of the likes of Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Renault, McLaren, and with a deal like this on the table, that allows Williams to move departments, to focus more teams on the aerodynamics, the bodywork of the car itself, parts that have to be designed by Williams, that can't be designed by anyone else, and allow Mercedes to do the hard work on the gearbox, hydraulics, a few other technical bits and bobs, and hopefully Williams that way will be able to start fighting its way up through the field. Of course, 2022, that big regulation change, in all reality, we have no idea what kind of effects financially, sporting wise, that is going to have on Formula One. But what we do know is in 2022, we now have a budget cap. We now have a system, a token system for development, for wind tunnel usage. And with Mercedes and Williams signing this deal, with one eye on all of those changes, Williams are going to be in a very, very good spot indeed. They're going to be able to save money on the cost cap side of things by forcing Mercedes to invest in R&D on the likes of the gearbox and the hydraulics. They're also, more importantly I would say, they're going to be able to save tokens for the wind tunnel, for development of their car. That will be crucial. They are most likely going to have the most tokens, or one of the team with the most opportunities to use the wind tunnel going into 2022. If you're not quite aware, those that finish at the bottom end of the scale in terms of the Constructors' Championship, so the likes of Alfa Romeo, Haas and Williams, going into that 2022 season and then from each year on out, are going to have the most chances to use the wind tunnel. If Mercedes, let's say in 2025, finish last, they will then get the most uses of the wind tunnel for that following season. So Williams initially are going to find themselves in a very, very nice position indeed. For Mercedes, I'm sure some of you are wondering, what benefits do they have? Of course they will have financial benefits. Williams will be paying quite a pretty penny to sign this deal, but also it's going to allow Mercedes a little bit of freedom of their own. It's going to give them opportunities to promote their young drivers. Think over the last 5 years of Formula 1, how the team struggled to find Pascal Wehrlein, Esteban Ocon a seat anywhere on the Formula 1 grid. Even the likes of George Russell, there was talk this year that he may even lose out on a 2021 seat. So by signing this deal, there's that little bit more security, a couple more options for the Mercedes team. But there is certainly no denying the big winner here is Williams. That being said, how big of a win is this? In the short term, it's fantastic. This is a real opportunity to springboard the team right back into that midfield, right into regular points battling positions when we reach 2022, 2023 and beyond. Long term though, I just question if this is against the Williams DNA. Claire Williams, Frank Williams fought for so many years to keep this Williams team as an independent team. With all that funding coming from Dorilton Capital, I believed they were going to be able to stay afloat. But today's decision, today's announcement, takes away that status. However, that's modern Formula 1. Joining the grid is difficult enough. Staying on the grid is even harder. Being profitable is even harder. And perhaps most difficult of all, being competitive in Formula 1 is so ridiculously hard. And for a team like Williams, this is a perfect opportunity to find their way back up the field. It's a day to remember, an announcement that will probably go under the radar for many, but certainly Williams could be back in 2022. They've got a great opportunity, a great platform, an awesome competitor to be partnered with for 2022. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.